Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. This young lady right here is probably one of the most patient human beings. We've been trying to do this show for months, and she has been very gracious in allowing me to reschedule. I want you all to welcome Gloria Munoz to the show. She is a brand and web developer. Graphically for You is her company. She does so much great stuff. I can't wait for you to learn more about that. And the title of our show today is Scaling Your Business to New Heights, which I love. Welcome, Glory. We finally
Well,
did
thank
it.
thank you for inviting me and for allowing me this space and to be able to share with your audience what I am about and what Graphically for You is all about. Thank you.
I'm excited. You've got great energy. I love your social media. I love all of the stuff that you're doing. But before we take a deep dive into that, I told you before we went live that the audience loves an origin story. They want to know about you. Obviously, you weren't born and you didn't have a graphic designer Barbie. You you didn't. So tell us a little bit about your journey to where you're at now.
Well, first and foremost, I've always been a creative. I've always loved designing and creating things. And something that I always told myself, I wanted to be able to enjoy going to work and not being bored. And
Yes.
so that was something that I thought I could find in corporate America. But I soon learned that corporate America doesn't always allow you in their atmosphere, especially when you have so much to share and so much of you that you could share with other audiences. And
Yes.
sometimes things like that will stop you from wanting to get to the origin of where you need to be going.
Great.
And so when I graduated from UCF
Oh,
back
go
in
Knights. Me too.
2014, yes, I'm a UCF graduate. You can graduate.
You can graduate.
Yes, you can finish. So I finished with a bachelor's of web design and development. And I went on to apply for multiple employment opportunities. And unfortunately, I wasn't given the opportunity. So what I did for myself was I created my own. I decided that if I'm not given the opportunity to use the talents that God gave me, that I was going to use them for clients that I would generate. And so the first client that I started working with was a realtor. So that realtor wanted social media management and wanted branding. Branding is so important, especially nowadays that there's so much competition. And so I started developing this particular client's social media, and in particular, the Facebook and Instagram. And so her broker realized that I was into something. So she hired me.
I love it.
And I only lasted there about 4 months because the inner child in me started getting bored. One thing about me is I don't like being bored. I like to be challenged. I like to see things through in different ways and forms. And unfortunately, when you have a manager or a supervisor over you, you kind of have to do what is that they're telling you to do.
Correct.
And so one day in February, I think the second week of February of 2018, I was like, you know what? I'm so bored. I feel unchallenged. I feel motivated. I started dreading Mondays. And that to me is a sign that when you start dreading Mondays, you're in a place that you're not happy.
That's a
So,
that's a telltale sign, I believe. I agree.
so if you're not happy with what you're doing, then you will not perform to your maximum capacity. And so one day I was meditating and just praying, and the Holy Spirit literally told me, if you're not happy, quit. Plain and simple, quit.
Wow.
And so I wrote my letter, I resigned, and that same week, that's when Graphically for You started to evolve.
Isn't it
Only,
amazing how there's always a catalyst, right?
yes,
There's always some
absolutely.
sort of catalyst. There's something that I'm a faith person too, so I believe you get spoken to. I get messages,
Yes,
whether
and
you're
something
open to them or
ignites
not.
within you.
That's
Yes,
correct. So I
absolutely.
I love that because I think it's super important for people to try to find a way to follow that. I'm not recommending anybody quit their job immediately, especially if that's where your health benefits are and you have
I
no other
know.
place to land, because there are a lot of people who are not entrepreneurial. And
No,
so a lot of people need to stay in a very fixed, scheduled kind of job. Where did this creativity and bored with things come from? Were you raised by entrepreneurs? Did you always have some sort of entrepreneurial spirit going on in the household?
it's funny that you mentioned the word entrepreneur. To me, that was an unknown language, an unknown word. It was something for me that was very new. And my mom's a realtor. My dad, he does renovations and stuff. But from a Latin language, entrepreneur wasn't something that was spoken in my household. And so, being that I started evolving and switching over and going into that field, into that area, for me, it was unknown. And so one day I went to a networking event and they introduced me as Glory Muñoz. She's an entrepreneur. And I was like, because that word was so new for me. Now I am accustomed to it. I speak on it. I say, and I can tell you, yes, I am an entrepreneur. I am a Latina entrepreneur. And I'm proud to say that I am Hispanic. I don't hide my Spanish culture. And unfortunately, a lot of people do and feel that there's a need to hide it. No, there's no need to hide where you come from. Where you come from, you should be happy that that's where that's where you came from, and tap into those things so that you could create things that will make you stand out. And that's something that for me is always in the storefront, in front and center.
Agreed. I think it's super important that the standing out is everything. So let's talk about branding, because you mentioned how important that is. I think a lot of people think I'm going to take a couple of pictures, I'm going to post them on social media. That's my brand. And they don't put a lot of effort and energy into it. But you and I both know how important everything you do represents your branding. You are your brand if you're doing it right. And so to fall short on that, to not focus on that in the right way, can be really devastating. So tell us about
Absolutely.
what you do. If you take a client, first of all, define branding, and then give us a little scenario on how you would take a client through that. Because I would imagine people like me would come in and tell you, this is what I want. But sometimes we don't know, and you're the expert. So give us a little rundown on how that works.
Well, branding is a principle of back in the day, they used to brand cattle and animals. And so we're not branding cattle or animals, we're branding things that will pertain to the brand that we want to be using, the things that we want people to realize that belong to the brand that you're representing. And so a lot of times people think, oh, I just need a logo, I need a business name, I need a couple colors, and that's my branding. No, branding goes far more beyond than just a simple name, just your logo, just your color swatches. Branding, you need to incorporate words. What are your words emitting to your ideal client? Are you using images that transform and make your ideal client feel a certain way? Are those colors that you're using, are they synchronized with everything else that you're using? Because a lot of times people think I'm going to pick pink, blue, purple and call it a day. No, are they triggering your ideal audience? And so you have to create a story. You have to create an illustration that you will bring your ideal client along on a journey so that they can see themselves working with you, using your brand, and not just working and using your brand, but they will refer other people to you because of the feelings that your brand emitted to them.
Oh, let's talk about feelings. I think that is super important, and people overlook that one of my brand, and I'm relatively new to this. I've just started using that word branding. That I have a brand. I am a brand. Is my jackets and my shoes. I have very colorful wardrobe. It is we have, but what I did is I didn't realize I had the brand. I didn't know how to utilize it, and now I try to utilize it in everything I do. So what does that do? It creates a feeling of, oh, I love to be around Ted. I like to look at Ted on the show because he's got vibrant jackets. I feel good. It makes me feel good to look at that. It's not boring.
Exactly.
So talk about the feelings, because I think a lot of people really do miss out on that aspect of what it's like to create a brand and why it's so important.
Well, with feeling, you want to make sure that if you are a wellness or a fitness coach, that you are transforming those words and providing words that will cause your followers to feel a certain way. So, for example, if you're a fitness coach, you don't want to say the word fat because nobody wants to feel fat. You want to say, oh, make sure that you work out. I could develop workout programs for you so that you could feel fabulous and excellent and get ready for summer. So right there, you're selling a feeling, and people will jump on that. But if you add the word fat, chunky, they're gonna be like, no, they're gonna be put offish, and they're just gonna scroll and keep it moving.
Well,
So
because people don't want to be made to feel negative, and if your message has any negativity in it, then people immediately they want to, like you said, they want to scroll through. I don't want to look at a lot of negativity when I'm on social media or when I'm trying to make a
exactly.
decision. I'm looking for somebody who's got the same kind of energy, who's positive, who I feel like will support me. In your example of fitness, I've had a lot of fitness people on the show, and the ones that always do really well are the ones that are constantly reminding their clients about how wonderful of a human being they are, that they've got
Exactly.
it, that they feel supported, so they feel loved and they feel like they can do exactly what you
Anything.
instructed. That's correct. And so that negativity, I'm the same way. If I see somebody and I'm feeling like I'm judged and I've got to buy your
Uh,
product, bye bye. There's too many good, solid human beings that are positive that I can do business with, and I'd rather do.
Absolutely.
So talk about what you scaling your business to new heights, because I think scaling is one of those new it's a newer buzzword. A lot of people are using scaling, and I want to tell you that I think a lot of people who watch the show might nod and go, "Oh yeah, scaling," but they have no idea what that means. So tell me why you chose that title for the show and what you were talking about.
Well, when I use the word scaling, I mean scale your business in the sense of make sure that your branding is working for you, not against you. And when you scale your brand in the way that you want it to be, for example, a lot of people think when they want to design a brand, to design it small. But when I design a brand for a client, I assure them that the best and most optimal way of designing a brand is scaling that brand to become a larger. Even though that person may only have 10 or 20 people in their network, it doesn't matter. The number of network people that you have at the bottom is where you want to go at the top.
That's
And
right.
so a lot of times people say, oh, I'm small. I was like, no, you can't undersell yourself. Make sure that you're thinking bigger picture. Why? Because when you think bigger picture, you're crossing a lot of T's and dotting a lot of I's. And when a person thinks small and they get big, unfortunately, once you're big, you kind of have to go back into your planning because you didn't plan big, you planned small.
Yes.
So your planning will affect the way your overall project, your business, your branding, it will affect how it will grow.
Agreed.
So a lot of times I tell my clients, I don't care if you think of yourselves as something small. Make sure that you're looking at the bigger picture because you're going to save so much money.
Agreed.
People think because they make everything small, they're going to save money. No. That is a poor mentality.
It's like it's instead of abundance thinking, it's lack.
Exactly.
It's lack thinking. And I think
It's
a
a
lot of
lack
people,
mentality.
they do. People do approach a lot of things with a lack mentality because they're afraid, or they don't know how, or nobody's ever told them that they can think bigger and think
Exactly.
abundance and take advantage. I have way too many people in my life that think in a lack mentality, and you can tell they're fearful. They are don't they're not risk takers. Their growth is minimal, if at all, and then they can't figure out why. And I always, when I'm asked, sometimes when I'm not asked, I tell them, well, it's because you're coming from a perspective of lack instead of
Exactly.
abundance. You're not believing in the fact that you have a big giant landscape that you can paint. So start
Exactly.
painting it. All right, tell me, because we're already running out of time, but I want to ask you something that I think is so important from your business.
Okay.
A lot of people, a lot of people who are watching, I guarantee you're thinking, God, I could really use her services. But oh my God, I could never in a million years afford somebody like Glory.
Okay.
Isn't that a misnomer? Don't, and I'm not asking for your pricing at
Okay.
all. But I'd like you to address that, because I think people don't realize it's again about investing, thinking abundance oriented, and really redirecting your thinking on how this works. Trust me, guys, if you could do what she does on your own, you
I
would be
know.
amazing. But you have to focus on your business, and then she has to focus on your business, but in a different way. So, talk a little bit about that.
Something very important that people have to understand is you want to scale your business, but if you don't invest in your business, how will you scale your business? And so, in order to make a recipe, you need those ingredients. Yes, you could take shortcuts and you could replace certain items in that recipe, but guess what? If you replace those items in that recipe without the correct ingredients for that recipe, the end result will not be the same.
Agreed.
And so your branding, your business is the same way. You can take shortcuts, but those shortcuts at the end will make your business suffer because you didn't think that investing 200, 300, $400 into something in particular for your business was worth it, because you don't see what's behind closed doors that is taking place to create that special item or particular thing that you want to be done or want created for you.
It's
So
true.
a lot of times what I have clients do is, are you going to give your child something that is not safe? So look at your business as your child. Are you going to give your business something that is not safe for your business? You want your business to succeed. You want your business to grow. You want your business to bring in those big ticket items, big ticket
Yes.
clients. But guess what? If you're not willing to invest big on your business, those big ticket items, big ticket people, those ideal clients that drop in those big bucks, your business is not going to receive those types of clients.
I agree. And I think people, and just to shoot it off before I have you explain how people can reach you, y'all, if you're still using your 90s glamour shot picture on your social media, or you're taking your pictures on your own, or you're trying to create your own hashtags, look, you're taking away from the stuff you do great. So invest the money in somebody like Glory, who can take that idea, make it fresh, and do that part of it that you're not so great at. Believe it or not, you're not great at every single thing that goes on in your whole world of business, which is
No.
why we surround ourselves with people who can do better and have the talents and the strengths that we do not have. All right, Glory, how can they reach you? How can they learn more about your business? How can they talk to you and maybe get a consult on how you can help them grow their businesses?
Well, absolutely. You could give me a call or text me or WhatsApp me. My phone number is 321 321-325-0325. Once again, 321-325-0325. You can reach me through my website at graphically, the number 4, the letter U.com. And that is the same for all platforms such as Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest. You can reach me with the same name handle of Graphically for You. It has been a pleasure being here with you today.
Such a pleasure. You're amazing. Thank you so much again. I have to give you a shout out for being patient and flexible. Y'all are always asking me, how do I do everything I do? Listen, I don't do it all. That's the magic. So you have to find someone to help you do the things that aren't in your wheelhouse, that you trust somebody. And so you reach out to a professional like Glory and just have a consult. She's going to be just as amazing in person.
Believe me, I make my clients look amazing.
I absolutely. And so you can check out Graphically, the number 4, the letter U.com, or anywhere on social media. You're a joy. I want you
Thank
to come
you,
back
Ted.
again. We'll try to figure out a special topic. But I love what you talked about.
Yes,
today.
let's do it. I'm for it.
All right. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great afternoon. We'll see you soon. Reach out to Glory.
Bye.